Hey, babe, I'm live.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh, hi. Been getting downloads. Been in there watching Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm getting downloads, and I got a message to deliver. Before I go into character, this is a satirical reading. This is what sacred clowns do. This is what HEYZEUS do. We poke fun at things, not only so that you learn to stop taking everything so serious, but so that the potential perspective of you seeing how foolish some shit sound. You understand that? As a sacred clown, we bring spotlights to things so that you can verify that's what you're really seeing, or so that you can see just how fucked up and foolish you really sound. Hey, Pink, I've been getting a download. I've been in here listening to Earth, Wind, Fire, the tribute concert, and Jesus came to visit me. Jesus came to visit me, and he told me to deliver a message because a lot of people on 9/23 think the rapture is going to happen. So Jesus told me what I need to tell the people on how they can take their hell into heaven. You feel me? You can take your hell that you helped create, that you are existing in here by choice, that you have no choice in what we're going through. But the Lord and Savior is here to redeem you from everything that you have allowed yourself to go through. So here's how you can get into heaven and leave this hell on the 23rd. Because what you need to understand, it don't matter about your religion. It really don't. Because in the allegories of Jesus, even though there was no J before the 1600s, we ain't gonna have that discussion. For all intents and purposes, he's Jesus. So even though Jesus is always tied into Christianity, Jesus wasn't a Christian. You understand what I'm saying? So for those of y'all who are just now coming into here, I was listening to Earth, Wind, Fire, and Jesus came and visited me and said, yeah, he's coming on the 23rd. The rapture is on the 23rd. That's 2 days from now. And here's how you can take your hell into heaven, because you have to understand, people that think that he's coming for them is probably the last people he's coming to see. Why? Because most of them operate out of hypocrisy anyway. You know, privilege, pride, ego, no charity, no love, just a bunch of faith. Just a bunch of faith in what they've been sold and taught to believe, and that don't fit his teachings. So we'll do that first. We'll figure out what Jesus' message really is. So since I was in there and he just popped up right next to me in the middle of one of them songs, if you was watching, Janelle Monáe was doing a tribute song for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Jesus popped up and he was just snapping away. And he looked over at me and I said, huh? And he said, what? And then he gave me a download. So here's Jesus' download right here. Let that shit go. Succumb. It's the 30. This is the old school hermit. This is the one who made it through all his experiences. This is your experience don't count. Your experience don't count because as a savior, he's here to save you from going through more. You get that? You're going to have to learn to succumb to the shit that you went through so that you stop going on journeys. And I get that because, see, tomorrow is the fall equinox when everything comes into balance. So basically what's really happening here, and y'all might not fuck with me on this one, but you got to understand, Jesus is watching. This is when Jesus and Anubis got together tomorrow, because Anubis is weighing everybody on the scales tomorrow. You get that? The equinox, everything is balanced. So since everything is balanced tomorrow, Anubis is going to tell you whether you pass or fail. So we got to bring Anubis in on this one too. So Anubis says, get on his scale and he's going to measure your heart. But we're going to see what Anubis has to say before he puts you on the scales. Oh shit, did you burn yourself? 23, passion, the element of fire. What'd you do with your energy? It is time to let go, my child, says Jesus. Did you burn yourself? Says Anubis. But you know how that go? If we gonna bring them two in, we gotta bring in some of the counterparts too. See, Jesus trying to figure out how to take hell into heaven, but old fire daddy, Lucifer, the morning star, he want to keep things the same. So here's Lucifer's perspective on, don't pay no attention to none of this shit, just stay stuck in your cycles and keep the shit show going. So Lucifer, here's what Lucifer means. Oh, good. Lucifer is the morning star. He's the abuser. Trying to tell you how to move. Remember, Anubis was a 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. And Lucifer is a 5. Only he ain't the teacher. He's the abuser. And I get this. If you're trying to move your hell into heaven, you got to start becoming accountable for what you're doing to yourself. But most people ain't going to get that. You don't want accountability for what you're doing to yourself. It's always somebody else's responsibility. So we got to figure out what these three beings right here are talking to us collectively. Because again, on the 23rd, Jesus coming. The rapture going to happen. If you know anything about the rapture is normally tied into the end of a 7-year cycle. I mean, I know I've been telling y'all since 2018, you better start getting out of manipulation and learning manifestation. And did not one of you motherfuckers listen? All you tried to do was manifest your manipulations by learning how to become better at alchemy. But that's another class because it's too late now. Jesus coming. Jesus coming, and he is coming with a vengeance. So here's how you can get out of hell by being raptured into heaven. But wait a minute, because Jesus is still right here. Yeah, I get that too. Jesus said he need to let y'all know, you religious folks who think that you got a foothold on the inside track of him coming to help you when you've done nothing but desecrate his name. Here's how he feel about y'all folks. He still love you. He still love you even though he trying to find a way to separate from you. You get that? I still love you, but I'm still trying to find a way to get you apart. So I get that. Jesus saying, hey, I still love you, but think about it. In this realm, we can still love somebody and not want to fuck with them. So, and I think I said this at the beginning. These people who out here talking about the rapture coming. And they sitting out here and they selling all of their possessions and they saying their goodbyes and they pointing fingers at everybody else. You ain't going to be ready when Jesus come. And Jesus like, you won't be ready when I come because just as much as you believe in me, it's just as much as I don't believe in you. That'll hurt some of your feelings. But you need to be prepared because remember now, you think you got a foothold on getting out of this world when in reality what this card is saying is you love what you helped create. See, this is that one of them 7 deadly sins. What is it? Avarice or something like that. This is where you have more love for your condition that you don't want to do anything else. So your love for your condition becomes a sickness. So those people who think they got an inside track on being saved, hey, I love you, but I can't fuck with you. He ain't used them exact words, but that's what he mean. See, I can speak for him because he's speaking to me, but he telling me to hurry up so we can get back to earth, wind, and fire. So we'll do what y'all seem to understand more than anything, astrology. And this will fuck some of y'all up because Jesus understood astrology too. Why? Because that was a common tool in the Roman empires because a lot of them had a occult background. But that's a whole nother thing. Y'all will get lost on that. So we're going to go down the occult path of astrology and figure out how you can take your hell into heaven on the 23rd when Jesus comes to save you. So we'll start with Ophiuchus first, because that's where you need to figure out how you got lost. Ophiuchus is how you got lost. Ophiuchus is how you got pulled apart. Ophiuchus is where you didn't have enough time to hold yourself together, so you got pulled apart. But guess what? All of the pieces of you are going to make it into heaven. That's right. This will confuse some of you. This is when, I'll help you with this one. This is when you done went through your whole life cycle and all of those true loves you had along that journey, all of them going to be waiting for you when you get into heaven. You know that little 13-year-old, your first love, and you still love her when you in your 60s. And then that 30-year-old true love that still was with you until your 50s. And then that final true love that you married and you all the way the rest of your journey, all three of them going to be there. Why? Because love is love. So when you get there, don't worry. You're going to be in heaven and all the good parts of your life will be there and they'll be fine. So it's okay to have multiple loves waiting on you in your afterlife, because there is no separation at that point, and y'all will learn how to hold it all together, if that makes sense. So all the things that you use to pull yourself apart, my children, my love, my family, my whatever, all that's going to be there waiting for you. And again, you'll learn to share. Don't worry about having 6 marriages and 7 true loves, because it'll all work out in the end when you get into heaven. Somebody might not be happy, but time is irrelevant over there, so you'll have enough time to keep them all happy, if that makes sense. So the Ophiuchian component of how the rapture can save you is because, don't worry, all them thoughts that you gave your energy, all them times that you pulled yourself apart, you'll get to hold yourself together in heaven, and you'll get to sit at the feet of the shepherd. Why? Because you're going to see where you pulled yourself apart. Pisces. You're going to see where you pulled yourself apart because you were scared to hold yourself together. That thought, that 3 and that 5, that thought was telling you, stay away from Lucifer. Just follow the path of God. And because you were staying away from Lucifer and trying to get to the path of God, you was moving in fear. But you just have to understand to embrace that fear and keep yourself in servitude. So then by the time that you get out of servitude and get into the Holy Land, it won't be no more space for fear, because fear would have been taking over everything. Huh? Disregard that, Pisces. You might have problems. Pisces, you might not make it into heaven because you're going to try and take your hell into heaven and you're going to turn heaven into hell. Sorry, Pisces. So from Pisces, we go into Aquarius. Just trying to figure out how to separate from the things that pulled me apart, that kept showing me fear, by trying to pretend like fear ain't real. You become the devil. You give all your potential to Lucifer. So what it says is, at this point, if you're paying attention, you will take your hell into heaven, because you're going to keep trying to drag the same stuff that caught you down here into up there. You're a carrier virus. See, Pisces, I said you might not make it, but I guess you are going to make it, because you're going to bring your fear with you, and you're going to get up there and infect everything. And then the Aquarius energy said that I'm going to use everything that got me sick as what's going to give me healing. I'm going to be my own devil. I'm going to take back heaven by making heaven look like my hell. Holy shit, that's kind of like what happened here. People turned this place into hell because the hells of their own mind became their heaven. Maybe that's why Jesus coming back on the 23rd. Because won't nobody do anything different, but everybody's still crying about having the same. I don't know. That's a conundrum. But that'll take you into Capricorn. Capricorn is going to try and outthink this situation and figure out how to take hell into heaven but it's going to try and make sure that it masters hell before going to heaven. If you think about what I just said, if you try and master all of your rage points so that you can learn to master peace, you're a ticking time bomb. You're a ticking time bomb. This is La Luna, the moon. Emotions become your reality. 1 and 8. All I'm doing is giving all the potential to the struggle. Why? Because as long as I can stay ahead of the struggle, then the struggle is safe in me. So far, all of these signs that are looking to find wholeness, when the rapture come, they done invested so much of their energy into separation, they not going to be fit to go to heaven because they ain't going to do nothing but turn heaven into hell. Let's see if this continues to be the way. Remember, the Jesus energy said, let this shit go. Succumb to them thoughts that keep fooling you. Anubis says, don't keep burning yourself. Quit connecting to the thoughts that have fooled you. Fire Daddy, the Morning Star, said, I ain't gonna do nothing but abuse you if you keep letting me tell you how to move. The Jesus Force point of view for those who are his quote unquote true believers is, I love you, but I can't keep fucking with you. I love you even though you are pulling me apart, trying to find a way to abuse my teachings as what holds you together. Then we went into the signs. Ophiuchus said, you've been pulling yourself apart and you're going to try and take that separation into heaven. Pisces energy said, your fear ain't going to do nothing but follow you into heaven. Aquarius energy said, I'm going to become the devil in heaven. Capricorn said, my reality is all the emotional rage that I keep trying to master, and I'm going to take that with me into heaven so that I can learn to control my hell. If you're not able to see through that, the imprint of what you want has already overridden what you have. You have a get out of jail free card, but you want to take your cot, your bunk, and probably your cellmate with you too. So you're trying to get into heaven, but now you're still on this war with your fire, the Sagittarian energy. You trying to go on a journey, trying to figure out the best way to get into heaven without losing your hell. Why? Because you have an unhealthy attachment to your hell. You have an unhealthy attachment to your hell. You one step away from destruction, Kali Ma. You like your chaos. Holy sheep shit. Y'all don't want heaven. Y'all just want hell to be more heaven-like. At this point, I would like to submit that Jesus, if you is coming back on the 23rd, run, nigga, run, 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 run. Don't come back to this motherfucker because they ain't ready. They ain't gonna do nothing but destroy themselves again or go to where they think you are and destroy that shit too. Why? Viral thinking. Viral thinking. Because the only thing they understand is death. You go into Scorpio energy. The only thing you understand is death. You trying to go into heaven, which is purported as life, by bringing what you saw that was killing you into where you should be living, but you ain't gonna understand living because you so used to dying. You become the abuser. You become Lucifer. You become your own devil. You become the morning star. MOURNING. Because you always crying about what's abusing you, but never taking fucking accountability for why it's there. Holy shit, run, Jesus, run. But you don't understand it because holy shit, you're going to run into Libra energy. I got a balance between my light and my dark. This is what he was talking about here. I love you, but you only holding yourself together in separation, which means you're pulling me apart. Some of you won't get that. If something is working on your benefit, but you're working against it, you're not only damaging yourself, you're damaging what's trying to help you. Wow. Why? All because you believe in balance. Your Libra energy. You believe in balance. You giving your thought the right to your identity, and you can keep on birthing it. What was the initial problem? My thoughts have all my potential to pull me apart. What are you only trying to do? Establish balance to where I pull myself apart by birthing the opportunity to hold myself together. Why don't you just stop giving your light to where you pulled yourself apart? The answer is because you love the struggle. The answer is you've only found balance with everything that brings you struggle, that you don't know how to sit down and be still. So you're going to take your hell into heaven, and you're going to try and redecorate so that you now feel safe. Holy sheep shit. Why? Because you like the cycles. Virgo, the neat freak. I'm going to go to heaven and it's too neat. I need it to look like what I want it to be. Did you catch that? Heaven was already organized, but it's not organized in a way to make your Virgo mind feel safe. So you're going to go up there and pull a full-on redecoration. Ritual energy, martyr, 12. I'm going to take all my potential to what I'm connected to. Holy shit, what was I connected to? My own separation. My connection to my separation in a place that's only designed to show me my wholeness means I'll fight to pull myself back apart. Damn. This was about taking your hell into heaven. You ain't got no space for heaven in you. Oops. Why? Because you've already given all your power. You've already given all your power, Leo. You've already given all your power, Leo, to what's got you under abuse. And you covet the right to do it. You see a 6, but it's really a 9. This is the Hermit card. This is the healer. You covet your right to keep healing your hell, which means even when you introduce to a heaven, you'll find a way to fuck that shit up too. See, at this moment, because see, Jesus and went back in there, he's watching Earth, Wind, and Fire again. But I can hear him because I'm interconnected with him, because he is me and I is he and all this other good shit. This is the same shit that people have been saying for years. If you have an opportunity to do something different, 9 out of 10 of you won't. You won't do something different because you don't believe that there can't be different, so you'll need somebody else to come save you. Your sick connection to death won't allow you to live. And I don't just mean in the sense of your breathing cycles. I mean your trauma cycles, your love cycles, your physical pain, your emotional pain, your mental 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 pain. Some of y'all covet your traumas more than you covet your potential to heal. Did you catch that? You worry more about what it's going to be like if you don't have pain, that you won't do anything to get there. And furthermore, as I see more and more every day, what you hear me call spiritual traumatic muscle memory, you'll make it out of a situation and you'll fight to put yourself right back in it. You'll get out of a cycle that showed you, holy shit, I only gave up a lot of my energy. And now there's nothing there, and you'll start aching for what you lost because you don't like what you found. You found a safe space to be you, but you don't trust that. You don't trust that because it goes against everything that you've been taught. So you done fucked yourself over and you go right back into a cycle of dragging your hell into heaven because you want one to be the other. And you need them both to be the same. Don't you bring your ass back down here on the 23rd. These motherfuckers will martyr you again. Why? Because they like giving up their power. Why? Because they are the sickness. Cancer. They are the cancer. See, Jesus was coming to do the rapture, but it's kind of like in any good movie where they open the door and they see something in there that they don't like, they shut that motherfucker and go back away. That's my advisement is, if you bring your dumb ass back down here on the 23rd, Jesus, when you open that door and you see these motherfuckers are doing the same shit, leave them here. Leave them here. They're their own cancer. They're their own abuser. They're their own sickness. Because they don't see enough and they like starring in less. This is the star card. They've only given their potential into who they think they are, and who they think they are is only beings in separation. So when you take hell into heaven and you have to choose between one or the other, the average mind ain't going to see them as a potential of negation. It's still only going to see them in separation. And because they're not familiar with what heaven looks like or feels like, they'll choose hell. You motherfuckers do it every 4 years. You'll have an opportunity to get out of the hell cycles here, but you'll vote for more. You had an opportunity to get out of abusive relationships where basically the true abuser is you and your choices, so you'll go hire in somebody else to fill the void of fixing yourself. Why? So you can have somebody else to blame. You want to know why you in your 13th relationship in 6 weeks? Nah, Jesus, these motherfuckers need to know. Fuck that. Fuck that. They need to know. You want to know why you in your 13th relationship in 6 weeks? Nah, fuck that. I love them enough to tell them the truth. It ain't them, it's you. The inability to sit your dumb punk ass down and be still and fix your own bullshit. That's why you keep propagating cycles of hell. And then you want to pass the buck off on somebody that you think that love you more than you love yourself to come back and rapture you when you ain't gonna do nothing but destroy it. I'm telling you, don't you bring your dumb ass back down here on the 23rd, Jesus. Believe these motherfuckers right where they at. They're parasites. They're their own cancers. They don't see more than separation. Yet they haven't seen enough from separation. But they don't believe in anything different. Why? The Gemini function. They only believe in separation. And they only trying to process the separation by separating themselves into the separation. Which means, again, the viral function is, if you let these motherfuckers take their hell into your heaven, they'll separate that motherfucker too. Because they'll think it's a distraction. They'll only listen, siren, to the strongest voice in their head. And the strongest voice in the head is their connection to struggle. What's the struggle? Separation. So anytime you show them the option of wholeness, like I keep saying, they'll need to pull it apart. This is the same thing like that motherfucking goat that keep hopping in the fire and the man keep pulling him back out and the goat keep hopping back in the fire. Cook his ass. Curry goat. They don't want nothing different. Don't you bring your dumb ass back down here on the 23rd. You's an ignorant motherfucker if you do. It's a distraction. It's a trick. Don't try and come here and save people. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. See, at this point, I have to go back and ask the question because I think Jesus is a martyr. Before we even touch the Aries energy, the Taurus and the Aries energy, I think at this point, Jesus is trying to save people who don't want to save themselves, which means Jesus is only harming himself. Yep. Apathy. Remember I told y'all 26 gonna fuck y'all up? Here's 26, apathy. You more connected into people that don't want to swim in their own path that you now lost your own. You into a path that you think is gonna show you, and you're right, it showed you your sickness. You get distracted by people who don't see enough and covet the right to be a martyr, so they steal their plentifulness and give it to the abuser because chaos is their reality, and helping to burn themselves by keeping fear is the only thing that's pulling them apart. But they love it. Why do they love it so much? Because they're stuck. They're stuck in the Taurus energy. They're master bullshitters. They're full of mouth, but they're never full of any solutions. And when you offer them a solution, if it ain't steeped in separation, it can't be real. So they'll kill it. The sun. They'll keep killing the sun. There's your warning, motherfucker. They'll keep killing the sun every time it pops up because it won't look like what they're looking for. Death is life. Death is life. The minute you stop creating, you allow yourself to live. The minute you start to create, you've allowed yourself to die. Keep thinking in terms of separation. The only thing you'll do is learn how to keep holding yourself apart. Because you're stuck in bullshit. You the sun, but you don't know how to give yourself life, so you keep creating death. You understand that? Every time you create something, it's automatically in the cycles of death. You've already hit energy in expenditure. The minute you sit your punk ass down and be still and stop flapping your gums and just watch, you preserve life because there was no expenditure. This motherfucker here don't need to come down here and expend life trying to save motherfuckers, then only worship death. You can't rapture this planet because it's in an imprint of disease called separation. So if you'll get something that wants to come down here and take heaven and expel hell, the denizens of hell will fight heaven. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. Especially when they get into idiocracies of genders and race and all this other bullshit, the simple lower level traps of separatism. If they can't get out of that lower level shit, they have no chance of seeing higher levels such as deity sets and saviors and shit like that. So even if you could conjure up a being called Jesus to come here to save you, you motherfuckers will kill him. Why? Because you like your fire, your Aries energy. You already like your fire so much to the point to where you can't see where you're burning yourself. You can't see where you're burning yourself because the only thing you could do is listen to your struggle. You ever seen somebody that's on fire? Not very rational. You ever seen somebody that's in real time on fire? Not very rational. Stop, drop, and roll. Man, fuck that. I'm on fire. This ain't no third grade stop, drop, and roll. Hell no. You running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Hi. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you scared of death, that you keep giving life to everything that's killing you. I'm on fire. Stop and put the fire out. I can't. So now you're taking the fire everywhere you go. You're going to take your hell, the fire, into heaven, and you're going to make it go everywhere you go. It's the perfect trap. It's the perfect trap. Infect somebody with a virus that they can't see for themselves everywhere they go. It's already there. It's already there. Start always processing yourself in this bullshit ass separation I keep trying to tell y'all to stop. This bullshit ass separation that you keep using as a parameter for your wholeness is already a carrier virus for why your heaven will be infected with hell, even if that bullshit was real. Even if that bullshit was real. That programming thought called heaven and that programming thought called hell, if they were real forces and locations, you motherfuckers would infect them. Because you're too busy processing your energy in the formats of separation. It's the only shit you love. But I digress. So if you're foolish enough to wait for September 23rd, thinking that something gonna come save you, or you have not done absolutely nothing to save yourself, and furthermore, if you're gonna lie to yourself and tell yourself you've been doing something to save yourself, it probably included bigotry, fear, and bullshit along the way. No fucking compassion. All this other shit. If you hiding behind systems of belief that you think is going to put you ahead of others, and that system of belief included harming others, I hope a rapture do come. Because it ain't going to be what you think it is. You motherfuckers killed him the last time. If he was here, you'll do it again. You really will. And you won't even see it. Because you probably won't even see him. Because the motherfucker can come down here and be like, hi, I'm here to save you. And he won't look like what you want him to look like, or he won't say what you want him to say, or he won't wear what you want him to wear, or he won't think like how you've been told he should think. You'll kill him. Why? Because the hell that you call heaven is the only one you want to operate out of. Here is your heaven because you allowed this motherfucker to become hell. But you can't take accountability for that because it is written. Idiocracy goes a long way. Idiocracy goes a long way. I'll just stop there. Because this falls on deaf ears every day. But if you don't do anything to earn that what you're looking forward to, please shut the fuck up. Jesus, don't you bring your dumb ass down here. These motherfuckers ain't ready. They can't even save themselves. They'll kill anything coming to save them. They'll just wait for something to pop up and enslave them. The Anunnaki, Atlas, the Reptilians, the Draconians, the motherfucking Galactus Council. Something that sounds more fantastical to come save them, that is actually going to only come and enslave them because they don't want to be free. That's what they need. Buckle up, motherfuckers.